Okay, the number of successful bone marrow transplants performed at a hospital from 98 to 07. Approximately how many successful bone marrow transplants were performed in 1998? So 1998 would be here. That goes up to this point right here. That goes over to this line right here. See if I can make it a little bit bigger here. 98 goes to this point, goes over to here. And what's that mark? Well, this is going to be 30, and then it goes to 60. This is going to have to be 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So this looks to be about 40. Approximately 40 successful bone marrow transplants. Approximately how many successful bone marrow transplants were performed in 07? That's all the way up here. And that goes over to this mark. And this mark is going to be 170, 180, 175, 170. So that's where we're at here. It's 170. By about what percent did the number of successful bone marrow transplants increase in the 5-year period from 02 to 07? So 07 was 170. 02 looks to be about, this is 90, 95, 100, 105. Yeah. 02 was 105. So 02 was 105. 07 was 170? Yep, 170. And it says, by what percent did the number of successful bone marrow transplants increase? So there's a couple ways we can do this. Probably the easiest is going to go 170 over 105. That gives us a percentage. It gives us 1.61904 continuing, which is the same thing as saying 161.904%. And what's the percentage increase? It's the percent above 100. So we subtract from this 100, and we get 61.904%. It says round to the nearest whole number, so we get 62% increase. If the bone marrow transplant program increases at the same rate over the next 5 years, how many successful bone marrow transplants can the hospital expect to perform in 2012? So really all it's asking is, if we have the exact same increase, which was a 62% increase, what should 2012 be? Because 2012 is 5 years from 2007, just like 2007 was 5 years from 2002. So if we have the exact same percentage increase, which is 62%, what is that going to be for 2012? That's really just saying, what is 162% of 170? Because that 170 was in 07. Just because that was the same thing as saying 162% of 105 in 2012 became 170. So that's going to become in 2012. I hope that makes sense. So all we really have to do is make this into a decimal and multiply by 170. And that gives us 275.4. So it's around the nearest whole number. We get 275. So the percentage increase from 105 in 2002 to 170 in 07 is the same percentage increase as 170 in 07, and then it's going to be some more up here, 275 in 2012. And those are all correct. Okay, graph the data and figure out which one is the correct broken line graph. In 1940, we had 35.5. Here's 30. 35 is going to be just a little bit above there, and right there we know it's B. The other two are wrong. Those are both too low. We can just continue. 1950 is going to be 39, so it increases to 39. Yep, in 1950, and then goes down to 28. Yep, and then 26.5. That's about right there, and continues down to 15. So B is correct.